Hi, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to show you how to create an EPUB file for your children's book in Sigil. First of all, why would you create an EPUB file? There are two different file formats for creating an ebook. There's EPUB and MOBI. If you're uploading your children's book to Amazon, then you can just use a MOBI file, which means you can use the Kindle Kids Book Creator and that'll generate a MOBI file for you. But if you're not uploading to Amazon, then you'll probably need an EPUB file. So I'm going to show you how to do that for your children's book. In order to create this file, you will need to delve a little bit into HTML, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible so that anyone can do it. And if you want to get more advanced with it, you can, but this is just going to be the very minimum that you need to know so that you can create it and have it working, and then you can always do more later. I will have a template file for the EPUB available in my shop that has all of my children's book templates. So I will link to that in the description, or you can create the files along with me. But either way, this video is going to help you so that you know how to use this program and use the files and get it all ready for the publisher. The first thing we're going to do is we need to download Sigil and PageEdit. Sigil is the main program that we're going to be using to create it. And then if we need to do any formatting of files, typing, images, we're going to use PageEdit. You'll need to go to sigil-ebook.com, click on Sigil. Up here you'll see download, and you can click that. And you have the Windows download and then the Mac download. So just download whichever one applies to you. Then you can go back to the home page and go to Page Edit and then go to download. And again, you're going to download whichever one is the right file for you. Go through and do all of your installation for both of those. After you do that, then you can open up Sigil, and you're going to need to link together Sigil and PageEdit. This is very important so that you can edit the files that you create in Sigil. You're going to go to either File Preferences, I believe, if you're on Windows, or on a Mac, you'll just go to the Sigil menu and then Preferences. You're going to go under General Settings, and then it says Set Your Preferred External XHTML Editor. I'm going to click Browse, and then I need to find where I installed it. I put it in Applications, and here's all my applications, so then I can just find PageEdit. There it is, and then I'll click Open. There it is in there, so then we can just click OK. Now, if we're in this file right here, we click the Edit button. Then it's going to open it up in here. And then we can edit it right here. We can add text, and we can add images and links and all that good stuff. And we can do that without having to edit the HTML. So then once we save it, then see it's going to show up here. And here you can see what the HTML looks like. So you will want to kind of look at it, get familiar with it. You're not going to need to really know HTML too much, but just try to look at it, get comfortable with it, and maybe eventually you'll learn HTML and become a web developer. Never know. Now that we have those linked up, we can go ahead and save our file. So it opened this up here, which is just like a new file. If you don't have anything open, then you can just go to File, New. And I'm doing the EPUB 2, but you could do EPUB 3. I'm not doing it just because by default it created an EPUB 2 file, and EPUB 3 has like all this functionality where you can have like JavaScript and interactivity, but you know, this is just a simple tutorial, and we're going to do the minimum possible just so it's easy and you can get something up. So we have this open here, and I'm just going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to find my folder that I want to keep it in. I'll create a new folder here and call it EPUB, and I'll go inside there. And then I'm going to name it Mouse's Great Discovery. Now I'll just give you a little overview. So over here we have our book browser. All of the pages in the book are going to be in this text folder here. and you can just drag and drop them into the right order. So if I were to add more pages like that, then I could actually like grab page 3 and bring it above page 1, and that'll actually change the order in the book. Styles is just going to have a style sheet in there, and we're going to add that later. Images is where we're going to add all of our images. The rest of it, don't worry about for now. If you want to later on do some more fancy stuff with your book, you can. As you already saw, if you want to edit the page, well, technically you can type in here in with the HTML if you wanted to. And then you would press this button to go over here into page edit, and you can also edit it here. Now I did make some changes here. I added some files, and they're not going to show up right away in page edit. So actually what I always do is that you have to close it out, and you have to actually close the program, and then you'll just click on this again to open it back up. And then it has the text that I had typed there, and we can make any other changes. Since this is a children's book, we are definitely going to have images in the children's book because each page is going to be a picture. And this is where you're going to have to make some changes to your book. When you first designed your book, you might have text over the image, and you're not going to be able to do that in the EPUB file. Unless you have the text like embedded in the image, and that's just not the best user experience because they can't like make the text bigger and smaller. What I did for mine is I had all of my spreads with the text in them, and then I just went through and took the text out of all of them, and these are the results. So it's just all of my artwork without the text. And then we're going to put the text in as actual text. So what we're going to have is we're just going to have like text above it on the page and then the image, or you can put the text below the image too if you want. The other thing is you might have spreads, you might not have spreads. So it's up to you how you organize the book, but on most e-readers, it's going to only show one page at a time. So that's why for my spreads, I actually am going to have a whole spread on a page. So I'm saving the entire spread, which is 2 images in a printed book. I'm saving them as one image, and that's going to be on one page. Just because otherwise they would be broken up, and since you only see one page at a time, you'd only see half the spread, and then you would turn the page and see the other half. If you don't have a bunch of spreads and you just have single pages, then just do the single pages. That's fine. It'll be different depending on how your book is designed. So you'll just have to make that decision how you want it. But basically, you're going to need to go through and get all your images ready. So I just saved them out without the text. And then I also saved out my cover image. When I go back to my EPUB, I just need to add those into images so that we can access them. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to add them into the layout. So I'm going to right click on images and do add existing files. And then I'm just going to navigate to my artwork. And I'm going to grab all of these using the shift key. And I'm going to do open. Now, if we go to images, we have all these images available, and that's very important. The next thing we're going to do is we need to specify the cover of our book. Since we added all of our images, we also added the cover. And I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to do cover image. That will ensure that in the ebook reader, we will have our cover image show up for the book. For the next step, we're going to create some of the standard pages that we usually have in our children's book. You can change these, of course, but I'll show you the ones that I'm going to do. I'm just going to click on the first file here, and I'll right click, rename, and for the first page, I'll make it be the cover page. So I'll go like this, cover page, which isn't the cover. It's just the cover page that, you usually have inside the book. So it might even be a little different than the cover. It just has like the name of the book on it. The next page, I'll right click and rename, and this one we're going to make it the copyright. The next one we can rename and make it the dedication. We can start adding our content to these now. For the cover page, all we want to really do is just add the image in. We can double click on cover page and then edit in page edit. Over here, of course, it didn't update, so we'll just quit and then I'll relaunch it. And here's our cover page. We have that text in there, so I'll delete it out. and we're just going to add an image. So this image button right here, we're going to click it. Now, if that button is not clickable, then that's because you don't have any images in your images folder over here. That's why we added those images earlier, because that's going to make them accessible. So we click on that, and these are all of the images that we added to that images folder. I'm going to grab cover, and I'm going to use that as my cover page, and I'll click OK. Now look at how big this is. It's very big. But we're going to do a really easy fix so that all of the images that we add just end up being the width of the page. And then that'll just make it super easy. We don't have to worry about the size of anything. I'm going to save this, and I'll show you our trick. We're going to go to the styles folder, and we're going to add a style sheet. So I'm going to do add blank style sheet. I can rename this whatever I want. I'm just going to name it style.css so it's simpler. And then over here, it's just a few little lines. We're just going to do image. So we're saying all of the images on the page, and those are curly braces. And then we're going to do width 100%. And that means for all the images in the page, the width of the image is going to be exactly 100% of the page. Not more and not less. So I'll go ahead and save that. But then we will need to reference this style sheet. So I'm going to go to the cover page, and I'm just going to add a line here. Link rel equals style sheet href, which is where is this style sheet located. And we're just going to go up a directory, which means we're going to go outside of the text directory, and then we're going to go to styles/style.css. Type equals text/CSS. Let's save this, and then we can quit out of page edit, and I'm going to relaunch it, and there we go. The image is the width of the page. As long as we drop this tag into any of the pages, then that's going to work. So we're going to have this in all of our inside pages, since we're basically going to have an image on every page. We don't really have to worry about it for the copyright or the dedication though, unless you want to have images in those pages. For the copyright page, let's edit that one in page edit. So up here, we're going to pick copyright. And I have some basic text here, and I'll drop it in the description so you can copy and paste it if you want. Then I'm just going to click save, and you'll see that it updates over here. One other important thing that we need to do is grab the text up here, whatever the heading of the page is going to be, and over here you can set it to a heading 1. And this will make sure that it gets included in the table of contents. So we'll save that. Also, feel free to look over here and just kind of check out the HTML that it adds. So it added these H1 tags. If you keep doing that, eventually you'll be an HTML expert. Now we're going to select the dedication, and we'll write dedication, and you can write your dedication here, and you can grab the word dedication up here and make that a heading as well, and save it. Now we have our cover page, our copyright, and our dedication. So these are all done. Now we're ready to create our pages for the book. We can go into the text folder here, and you can right click, and you can do add blank HTML file. But remember, we want that style sheet to be included here. So if we go over to our cover page, which we have right here, we're just going to copy the link rel equals style sheet, and I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to go right after the title and above where it says head, and I'll just paste it in. And then you can just save. Now, when we put an image in this page, it will only be the width of the page. So this is going to be the first page of the story. And now that we have all these pages, let's generate our table of contents. In order to do that, we just go to Tools, Table of Contents, Generate Table of Contents. Now you can see that it picked the Mouse's Great Discovery and the dedication. The Mouse's Great Discovery was actually the copyright page. So what we can do is rename it in the table of contents, and it won't rename the actual page itself, just in the table of contents. So here I can write copyright. The other thing is it didn't include the cover page. I don't know if you want to include that, you could or you could not, but also we probably want to have the story in the table of contents. So let's click OK, and then we're going to go to Tools, Table of Contents, Edit Table of Contents. Now we can add anything to this. I can click on copyright and I could do add above. Here we can do cover page. For the target, we'll do select target, and then you pick wherever you want it to link to. So this would be cover page. Underneath dedication, I'll do add below, and this can be the story. So I'll say Mouse's Great Discovery. For the target, I'm going to select the first page in the story, which is going to be that page that we added, section 0001. So I'll click OK. And that is perfect for our table of contents. We have our cover page, our copyright, our dedication, and the story. Now we can click OK. Now we can start adding the content for our pages. Let's edit our first page. So this section 0001, I'm going to click on page edit. It's not here, so we're going to have to quit. And you do have to make sure that you open it from Sigil. Otherwise, it's not going to be linked. So we have to click on that button to launch it. Here's section 0001, and I'm going to add my first page. And sometimes the editing is a little weird, so we just go like to dedication, and then switch back again, and then you can edit. So now we can insert our image, and we're going to pick that one, which is the first image of my book. See how it's perfectly the width of the page. Up here, we can enter our text. And then if there's any empty space here, we can get rid of that. And that's going to be our first page. It doesn't look super exciting the way the text is, but remember, we can always add more to that later. Let's just get our initial file done. I'm going to save this, and then I can go back to Sigil, and you can see the text got inserted here, and this is an image tag with the image. Now we can go ahead and add all the rest of our pages. So we can actually just grab this section 0001, and we'll just do add copy, and it already renames it to be 2. So you can just add as many copies as you need. And then we can click on 2 and make sure we have 2 open. Of course, that's not going to show up here yet, so we're going to quit, open it back up. So now this is section 2, and since we copied it from the one before, it's going to have the old stuff in it. So I can just delete. But it's good that we copied it because we don't have to reinsert the CSS into every file. It's just going to be in there. And now I'll go and copy that text and paste it in. I've done 5 pages so far, and I think that's enough just to show you as a demo. So let's go back over to the book, and here we have our 5 different pages. And now we're almost done. We can add our metadata for the book. So we're going to click on this M up here for metadata. And this is the metadata. First, we can edit the title. So where it says title here, just double click on that and enter your title. And then we can do add metadata, and there's all kinds of stuff here that you can add. So author, we definitely want to add that. And then it says author name here. And we can add some other stuff too. You can add your ISBN, whatever it is. If you have a different illustrator than the author, you can do contributor. You can add a description. And then we'll click OK. Now we can validate, so we can go to Tools, Well-Formed Check EPUB, and here it says no problems found. If it does have any issues in there, read what it says. Usually it'll be pretty self-explanatory. If not, though, you can always email me or comment on this video. Also, make sure you just kind of check out some of these other files. If you double click on content.opf, don't edit it, but you can look through it and just see what's here. So this has a reference to every file in the book. So it's basically just what's in this EPUB file. And we also have all of our extra meta tags that we added in the meta tag editor. So we have the creator, the ISBN, and remember we had added all that. So that's going to show up here too. The other file is just the table of contents, and that's the one that we generated. Now we're all done and we are ready to preview it on the computer. I'm going to save it, and now we can find our EPUB file that we saved it. So that's right here. And you can probably just double click on it. It depends on what operating system you're on. On the Mac, it's going to open up in iBook. And on a PC, you might have something that's able to read it, because I know like some versions of their web browser will read it. Otherwise, you can always download Adobe Digital Editions, which is free and it's an e-reader. So you can preview it that way as well. But I'm just going to double click on this and it opens in iBooks. In here, it opened in 2-page view. But when you're looking at it on like an e-reader or a phone, it's most likely going to open in just single page view. You can go up to view and do single page, and then that'll give you a better idea of what it's going to look like. You can just go through here, and here's all of the text and the images. That is the very simplest version of the children's book as an EPUB file. So this is ready to upload to your publisher's website. Stay tuned for a follow-up video where I'll show you how to do some better styling things where you can make the font actually go with the font of the book and add, colors to your text and that kind of stuff. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.